You know what it is? Geeks Pod. I think this is number 5. The boys are back. We're kicking it. We're chilling. We're coming off UFC Brazil, and we're looking at one of the best pay-per-views of the year here with Jiri Pereira and Tom Aspinall, Sergey Pavlovich. Supposed to be John Jones and Stipe, but that one unfortunately fell through John Jones' injury. This is still a phenomenal card from top to bottom. I cannot wait for this. Fellas, you got big plans for the weekend or what?
Facts on facts, little work in the morning and then making sure I got a nice spot on the couch and a few cold ones to rip back while I'm just watching sweet violence.
Bro, I mean, I guess for this upcoming card, we can just rip through some fights that we like because I mean, I'm looking at the main event, Jiri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira. And me and Fishman were talking about it last Saturday. We were kind of shooting it back and forth because dude, I don't know if Jiri's chin is gonna be able to just kind of break on a Pereira strike like that. I think he's kind of like too much of a wild man. So he does pose a threat in just the sense that he's gonna be just going crazy for 25 minutes, and Pereira likes a clean fight. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I mean, I'm leaning Jiri, but I don't know, man. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to make a pick until I see them face to face. Like that's what it's gonna come down to me. I feel like. I got to see what Jiri looks like. Obviously, he's coming off the shoulder thing, so that's kind of freaking screwy. But what are your guys' thoughts on that one?
Yeah. The age is throwing me off there a little bit just because like you think I don't know why in my head Yuri would seem to be older, but that is just not the case. He's 31, Pereira really on the back end, getting up there 36, 37 now. Um, But you're asking a lot of Yuri off a year off, over a year now without fighting. He hurt his shoulder last November, and it was what Dana said was the worst shoulder injury he's ever seen. So I think that there's a lot of questions there for Yuri. We know what we're going to get from Alex. Granted, Yuri's style is kind of built to beat a standard like kickboxer UFC style striking. So I think it's interesting there. Yuri could definitely clip him, but overall, I think Pereira is going to be getting the better shots off in this fight, and I do think it ends inside the distance. What you got, Dano?
I'm with you. I like inside the distance too. And for some reason, every time I like watch Pereira, after listening to you talk, makes me wonder because every time I watch Pereira, I just feel like he doesn't take shots well. We saw him get a little wobbled in that first round of the Adesanya versus Pereira first fight in the UFC. Then we saw him get KO'd. Um, but he isn't cutting that much weight. I know Yuri's a crazy man, like you were saying, he could clip him, but I just in my mind, I feel like Yuri's so crazy um that he will get clipped. Like his chin will be out there. And remember back in the Dom Reyes Prohaska fight, Dom Reyes was putting him on him for a little bit. Just Yuri, like CEO was saying, he's a crazy man with a really good chin. He just weathered that storm and put Dom Reyes out. I'm also kind of taking a little bit of the easy way out because I'm just thinking Pereira's been active. Yuri's been off for a while. Pereira just been wanting to fight. He's just been in that groove of fighting, fighting, fighting. He's been looking forward to this belt for a while, so I think he's gonna seize the moment. I think he will clip Yuri, but it will be a banger.
I know Front Kick just ordered a damn Poeton shirt, so can already assume how this take's gonna go.
Shirts fire, shirts fire. They gotta speed up the shipping. But yeah, shout out for the fire merch, Poeton. But what I think, I mean, I'm riding with Alex, obviously, but I think he's gotta use his legs a lot in this bout. The past couple fights, I feel like he's been trying to, the left hand, like everyone talking about it. And I think I just really think that people he just fell in love with throwing hands and he wanted to throw hands. I think he's got to get back into this. He's got to keep a decent range from Jiri or get in close. But Jiri is a dangerous dude. I was talking with like Mason said, that I was saying the shoulder injury, between the shoulder injury and Alex's activity in the past year and a half, too, he's just been active, bro. He's been active. He's been grinding. Jury's kind of been on the recovering side. So it's tough to come back from a surgery like that and be prime. Like if Jiri in a year from now, he'll be strengthened and I mean ring rust or whatever may not be there, but I mean Alex has been there, he's been active, and let's freaking go. I mean he's I think he's gonna kick the legs a lot more. But yeah, Jiri keeps those hands low, and I think he's gonna clip him with that hook. Like classic, everyone's saying it, but I think it's gonna happen this time. It's been a while. Or I think he's gonna kick the legs a bunch and then go upstairs, maybe hit him with a head kick. That'd be sick. But yeah, I think he's gonna go back to his roots, classic glory kickboxing days.
For
Yeah.
sure. And then Yuri with that bladed stance, he does leave those legs to be kicked. And I think that Pereira definitely has a path to victory if he can start eating away at that front leg early and really making Yuri commit to everything he's throwing.
He's got a quick, snappy leg kick. You know, like he
Mhm.
doesn't throw a lot into it, but it's quick. He doesn't telegraph it much, and it thumps. I mean, what's his name? That trains out of their
Izzy.
camp at Teixeira.
Wellington.
Wellington Turman. Yes, his leg
Um,
kicks look exactly like his now. And Dano mentioned how he kind of like looks like him a little too. Like he just kind of like
Yeah.
career it up. But
Yeah.
no, yeah, he's been his those leg kicks, bro.
That's what you were saying when you were kind of talking. You were like, bro, if Glover's piecing up Jiri in that title fight, like, what do you really think Pereira's going to do to him? I was like, yeah, it's a valid point. But at the same time, it's like two completely different styles. So it's like, it's tough to gauge if they're going to be the same approaches. This co-main, I'm team Tommy Aspinall. I mean, is it a reach? Maybe. I mean, not exactly battle tested. The only time we got in there with like a legit top fiver, I think, was Curtis Blades, and we all know, he kind of blew his thing out. We didn't get to see it. That's when he got injured. So this is interesting, man, because Sergey is just a freaking Terminator. The way he walks forward and just throws those boxing combos. Aspinall is the complete package, though. That's why I think he's got options for takedowns. He's got the jiu-jitsu. This is just another one of those fights where I got to see them face to face to like really get my wits about it. But I'm definitely leaning Aspinall. Just the way he moves in there, he's like a middleweight. Like I think he's just gonna be in and out. I think he's gonna make Pavlovich kind of miss a lot. So we'll see, though. This is anything can happen. Pavlovich one touch, right?
Yeah, bro. Especially after seeing him just shrug off Curtis Blades takedowns like he was a little kid. Like Aspinall's got his work cut for him. He's got to dodge raindrops for 5 minutes until he can start wearing into that gas tank. And that's a tough ask on a short camp. Pavlovich, his version of a short camp, like he's going to let those hands fly regardless. I feel like old Tommy Aspinall is really the one that's getting eaten up by this short camp a little bit. I hope it doesn't happen, but I kind of see it ending early. Pavlovich is a Terminator, bro.
Dude.
Oh sheesh. Yeah, that fight is gonna be scary just because their fight times and those dudes get it done quick. And I'm on I think I'm riding with Aspinall, but this is why. Like Mason said, I think Aspinall can control where this fight will take place. And Sergey, yes, he's on this crazy streak, but he's fighting dudes that are standing up with him. And Curtis Blades came out and decided to stand up with Sergey. I don't know why he didn't shoot. But those dudes were standing and banging. Ty standing and banging. His opponents were standing and banging with him. Aspinall's not going to be doing that. So I think that's going to play a big factor, that Sergey's not going to be in his element. And yeah, I think maybe a sub. Tommy Aspinall sub. round one. It's got to be quick. So deep into round one, maybe takes a little bit. Let Sergey rush into it and then change levels, get him down. But this fight's gonna be crazy. These two fights back to back are so fire.
Yeah, bro. Obviously, from a hype perspective, losing John Jones definitely not ideal for this card, him and Stipe. But from a technical fight perspective, I think we got a better fight in the co-main here. Because that was probably going to be one-way traffic, probably with Johnny Bones and Stipe. Stipe coming off a 2-3 year layoff like he is.
Like
I
three
feel
or
like
four.
he,
Yeah.
he was in harm's way.
Yeah. Facts.
A little statement about that. I mean, I think he's trying to. I mean, who's saying it's like fighting Conor McGregor? You're not going to say no to that check. You're going to fight in there and fight John Jones for the bag right there. So anyone's going to fight him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Stipe kind of is throwing himself to the wolves, but he's got a shot. But I mean, how much of a shot does he really have? It's Johnny Bones we're talking about. So, but yeah, go ahead, Dan. My bad, Dano.
No, not at all. Damn, what was I gonna say?
Pavlovich.
Oh, yeah, Pavlovich. So this is just another short notice title fight. This ain't no short notice on the prelims. This is title fight, which means, two best guys in the world. Of course, yes, we did lose the first one. But these short notice fights, I just think back. We just saw it with Volk Makachev. If you go back to Masvidal Usman, short notice title fight, Usman Masvidal kind of gets smoked in that one. What Pavlovich has on Aspinall, I agree with Fish that Aspinall's got to use the mental game. He's got to play it smart here, and I think he will, because Aspinall is not only good for his skills, he's really good with how he goes about being in the octagon. He is a smart ass dude. But just with the short notice and like Goose was saying, the short camp, I feel like it's less than a short camp. It's like a mini camp for Aspinall. Because remember, right when the fight got announced, Aspinall had some interviews and he was just kind of like, "Yeah, I'm always in the gym." Like that was kind of his answer. Like he wasn't like Pavlovich, who was like back up for the Gon Jones, waiting to get in there. He was back up for this one, the Jones Stipe fight. He was ready. He was already going to be in New York. And to tie it in with the Volk Makachev one, with that short notice, we saw Volk just come in a little bit weird, and then just the little things that comes with that short notice territory of the head kick on Volk. Volk was talking about it. He's like, I saw the head kick, I knew it was coming, I went to block it, but I was just a little low. And just those little like movements of just like muscle memory of being in camp for so long, that's kind of what it really hurts these short notice guys. And I feel like if what I'm picturing is like them in the pocket and Aspinall like backs up, but he just doesn't back up far enough. Like just those little muscle memory things, because, he might be there mentally. It's just his body that's just not prime to what we know Aspinall to be. And like you were saying, CEO, it's going to be one punch with Pavlovich. He's that dude. So if it's that little difference of, Volk having his hand here to here, that little 3 weeks of more camp that Aspinall could have had, I think that's going to play a factor. I'm picking Pavlovich in this one. Unfortunately, I will be rooting for Aspinall, but I think Pavlovich is going to do it, man. He's been ready. He's been wanting to fight. He's been this backup fighter for freaking two title fights now. I think it's his time.
Facts. Going down the card, bro, one fight that really, really sticks out to me, Frivola, Benoit Saint Denis, dude. That is as violent as it gets from two just massive dudes for lightweight that are just looking to do damage. And to be honest, after watching that Thiago Moises God of War fight back, Frivola hits him with some of those shots Moises hit him with. I don't think that he's going to be able to take them, because we saw Benoit Saint Denis obviously get whooped up at 170. That size difference is a little much. Frivola's a guy that could easily find himself fighting at welterweight in the next couple fights, because he is a massive lightweight. I think he blows up to like 185, 190 out of camp. So all it takes is one from those boys. I think that Frivola gets it done. Decent dog value there too. And then some sleepers going down the card too. Diego Lopez, the underdog against Sabatini. You guys see that? Dude
Yes,
doesn't know
sir.
how to have a boring fight. I think Sabatini might try and lay and pray him a little bit, but Lopez is going to be throwing up wild stuff all night. I think a sub play is likely there, but inside the distance could definitely just get that knockout in there as well.
Yes, sir. Sexy
CEO, what you
Mexi's
got?
back.
What fights are sticking out to you, big dog?
You talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, um, looking through it, honestly, I actually am very interested in Jessica Andrade, Mackenzie Dern. Is that bizarre statement out of me or what? I mean,
Not too
Yes.
bizarre because I'm looking
Mackenzie
down the
Dern for
card.
obvious reasons.
yeah,
Jessica Andrade because she
yeah,
likes
man. I mean,
to.
I'm gonna refrain from. All right, and then Jared Gordon, Mark Madsen. I mean, we were talking about how that might be a sleep fest, but I don't know. I feel like they both are just wrestlers, so like it's gonna turn into that like sloppy. Well, I mean, Jared Gordon's really not sloppy. I mean, at 55, there's not really like sloppy guy. I mean, they're gonna have a good stand up fight. It's not gonna be maybe the highest technical, but they're gonna have a good fight. And then this guy Joshua Van, I faded him because he had to fight my boy. He had to fight my boy in his debut,
Dalgas.
Algas, the Wizard.
His Alga.
He freaking beat him. And for me, that's the legit test. That's the litmus test. If you can beat Zalgas on like a 4-fight split decision loss streak, you're good, dude. You're good. Because Zalgas was in there giving everything, bro. God, man, this guy does not get a break. But yeah, I'm really looking forward. And then you got Dennis Bazooka, who's out of Long Island MMA up there. And I mean, so is Nazim Sadikov. So we're gonna get a little Ray Longo show here going on.
Yep.
Dano,
Frivola's out of that gym too. They had the
Yeah.
state circled for sure.
and Frivola. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
forgot about him. Oh man, this is the Ray Longo show going on up here.
Damn, and they're all 155 or 145, so they've been training with each other for sure too.
They got that blood.
Damn. Yeah, you mentioned the Jared. I think Jared Gordon's going to piece him up on the feet, and the wrestling's going to cancel out there. I think the odds show that too. He's like minus 200. Joshua Van bangers. That Kevin Borjas guy, bro. He was on Contender Series. Really showed out. I think that's going to be a banger fight.
Oh, dude, that's who he's fighting. Man, that's
Yeah,
a banger. That's a banger at
banger.
flyweight. That's action packed. Second fight of the night. Dano, what are you looking at on this card, bro?
I'm saying throw the house on Mateusz Rebecki. He had a fight with someone, I forget the guy's name, but he falls out. They put in Roosevelt Roberts, who, if you've been really into the UFC, remember Tough just happened a couple months ago. Roosevelt Roberts was in Tough, didn't really show anything special. In his first UFC stint, didn't show really anything special, and Rebecki is a stud. I think this is a spot where they wanted to keep Rebecki on the card. They went looking for anybody. Roosevelt Roberts, one of those guys who will get in there. I think that's a lock. I also like CEO. You took the two guys I was thinking of, the Sadikov versus Slavaklaus fight. That's going to be a banger. And then the very first fight of the night, Dennis Bazooka versus the OG Jamal Emmers. Jamal Emmers always game. Love watching them fight. Those will be scraps. I mean, literally from top to bottom, we're getting scraps. Johnny Castaneda's a dog. Jared Gordon's in there on the early prelims. I mean, this card is stacked.
Dude, even Urseg Costa. I don't know, Fish, if you were going to talk about that one or what, but that's kind of a 125-pound banger in its own right. That Urseg dude upset David Dvorak in his debut. I think he was short notice. He stepped up and got that one. And then for obvious reasons as well, Tabitha Ritchie versus Lupita Godinez. That obvious reason being they're just such high level jiu-jitsu practitioners, and I'm ready to see how that chess match plays out.
Yo, for real. That's actually a great matchup.
Yeah, I
Lapita,
was no,
yeah,
yeah, go
go
ahead, go
on,
ahead. I
go
was gonna
go on.
mention that. I was gonna mention that when you mentioned the Andrade and Dern fight. I said there's another great like strawweight bout that usually, I mean, I'm not never get too hyped for girl fights that, but this one's pretty lit for not too high level too high caliber names, as Loopy and Baby Shark is gonna be lit.
Dude, that's super interesting to find out who was gonna get the best of who in that one. Because yeah, they both
Dude,
rely on that game.
you see Richie and the little combat sports power couple she's got going with Caleb Walsh. That's gonna do numbers for her promotion game as well. I think that she's definitely gonna be more in the fans' eyes. I think Tabitha Richie could be making a run into popularity here pretty soon.
Yeah, it's so interesting because he's like the tall, skinny, like Irish boy, and then like she's like so small, like a little Brazilian, like super thick accent. It's like, damn, this is something else. Diversity.
Dana hooked up his boy.
Yeah, for sure. Put him down. He said, "Which one do you like on the roster?" I got you. But Fish, you got to have another fight that stands out, not just the women's boot.
Not really. I mean, I look forward to all the fights. I never really. I obviously I look out for a couple. I'm like, dang, I'm hyped for this one. But anything can happen in any fight. Next thing you know, uh, but no. Here's what I really got. I was looking at. There's a couple people that could rip some subs off. Nazim, Sadyukov. We were talking about Ray Longo camp with Matt Serra. Um, he could. Slava Claus has got to do. I mean, he's that dude has got to keep this standing up or it's over. Nazim's gonna rip his head off. Dern, I think, is gonna get a sub. I wonder what those two are parlayed. That'd be a sweet little thing to go. Um, but no, I mean, I gotta cook up in the kitchen and get a couple more bets out here.
I'm not gonna lie. I like Slava Claus against Nazim.
No,
Yeah.
Bro,
why?
Nazim put down McKinney, bro, in quick fashion.
Dude, but
Remember how it went, but Slava Claus is different, bro. When Slava Claus loses, it's because he's getting wrestled. And if you can't wrestle Slava Claus, there is no cakewalk that for nobody. Like,
That's what that gym is.
yeah,
That's
I
a
mean,
wrestling gym, man.
but he
yeah,
just
but just
can't.
because you go to a wrestling gym, like
Yeah,
sometimes you don't got it, you
he don't
know?
got it. He don't got it. He's a stand-up kickboxer, and if you're gonna, it's gonna be kickboxer versus boxer because Nazim Sadikov, he's not known for all his limbs and stuff. He's known for the boxing combinations. I think Slava Claus is gonna mix it up with his ass.
Slava Claus is handing out presents in MSG about a month early than Christmas.
Oh, the card just updated. Now I see the Mateus Rebecca Roosevelt Roberts fight. That must have just announced right when the call started, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty soon prior.
Yeah,
Um,
good call there.
but dude,
'Cause I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't see it on
Yeah.
Tapology, but
if we haven't learned anything from the good old boys over in Australia, the city kickboxing team, when we have a card stacked full from one team, not everybody's winning. So there's going to be some losers from those gyms. It's just how it is. Most of the time, these guys don't sweep. I like the Slava Claus play.
Yeah.
true.
I mean, that one, and then it's hard, dude. Benoit is hard to bet against, but I mean, I like Frivola that much more. That's the thing. It's like it's
Dude,
easy
Frivola
because I
Our
gets
like him.
down,
hands,
man.
bro.
Yeah, it's easy
Brick
because you see the
fist.
pop and you're like, yeah, well, and I like him too. So let's ride, you know?
And he
Dude,
tries so hard to be like popular on Twitter. So like he's gonna go ham.
this
His
is actually
Instagram.
crazy though, because he was able to crack the Chad Giga chin of Drew Dober. If he can go out and crack the God of War's chin, that will actually be incredible. And it will be a good test to see just how legit BSD's chin is.
That's facts. All right, let's get into some of these announcements. We got a couple title fights that just got ripped off. We got who's the first one? Is it Volk and I think it
Ilya.
I think it goes DDP Strickland, then Volk Ilya, then Sugar Cheeto. So those are
Mhm.
three absolute bangers. What are your guys' thoughts? I guess we could start with Dano. What are your thoughts on these 3 fights? Which one are you looking forward to the most? These are fucking sick.
I'm really uninterested in the Volk to Poirier fight just because we saw Volk and we just saw him get put down. Like I just got a bad taste in my mouth from that. I'm really interested in DDP Strickland just because I really like both those guys and I have no idea how that's gonna play out. That's gonna be a scrap. And of course, I think the one I'm interested most in would be the Sugar versus Cheeto. The stories there, the backgrounds there. They already bicker back and forth. Like that week is going to be great for both sides of the fans. Because if you're a Sugar fan, every fight week's good, and if you're a Cheeto fan, you're going to get the highlights of him knocking out O'Malley. You're going to see the clips played. You're going to get Cheeto shit talking him. I'm really excited for that fight. But what stinks right now, of course, it will be revealed later on, is there's no date, there's no location. It just got announced that the fight's going to happen. So waiting for more information to get too excited, but very excited for that fight.
Facts. Who else wants to rep these 3?
Fish, give
Sean
us your
Strickland.
thoughts.
Sean Strickland, boy. Sean Strickland. He
The
is
psycho.
he's the boy. He is that guy is the most anti like anti-champion I've ever seen. You know, he just you never you would never really think this dude. He just doesn't hold himself like a champion. It's a part of his way. I'm not saying that negatively. Like the dude is amazing. He's not like full of himself, you know. That's why I like him. He's just really is down to earth. I love the dude. But I think he's just gonna stay at distance and put the jabs out there on DDP. I don't think DDP, he may have gotten his nose fixed or whatever, but I don't think he can do that for 5 rounds. I know Sean can. Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to ride with DDP on that. The Sugar and Cheeto show, shit. That one's tough, bro. It is tough. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. Sheesh, because I love Cheeto, dude. And right now I'm just thinking O'Malley, and it's tough because I was at the O'Malley in Boston. He put on a show, and he's making it hard for me. If that leg kick doesn't land perfectly like that, and does he really get a hold of him, put him on the ground? I don't know, dude. And Sean's hard to grab. So, and but yeah, the other, what was the last one?
Volk Ilya.
Yeah, dude, Ilya. I'm a huge fan of Ilya too, and I'm a huge fan of Volk. So that one's gonna be tough to see either of them lose. But hey, man, that's gonna be a very, very good fight. But hey, man, good luck to both of those dudes. It'd be cool to see Ilya be champ for a little. They would run it back eventually, you know, immediately. So we'll see.
Yeah, bro. I like that it's like 3 competitive fights, and they got like, I mean, they're fights that I'm going to be hyped for when it's that fight week. Like, it's going to be a good pay-per-view. You know, sometimes we get the flop pay-per-views. Those are 3 that I know I'm going to be excited about. Obviously, funny that the UFC is sending Sean Strickland to Canada after Australia. I think honestly they might send him there so he has to be on his best behavior. You know, because if you let him go in Vegas, he's going to be popping off with the most wild shit, even probably crazier than he is right now. That match is kind of a chess match too, because Dricus doesn't like staying on the outside. He likes rushing in. And Strickland, I mean, if he gets caught by some of those shots with Dricus blitzing him, we've seen the chin crack. Obviously, it was to Poatan, but I mean, Dricus is a big, mean South African boy, you know. So I see past the victory for both. I would lean Sean Strickland. The one I'm most hype about would be obviously Sugar Sean versus Cheeto. Again, a very interesting chess match. I think 7 out of 10 times Sugar Sean probably wins that, you know. So we'll see. Is it one of the 3 that Cheeto gets, or is it one of the 7 Sugar Sean gets? I think it's a good fight, and it's going to be a hype a hype week. And then Ilya Volk, that's the real question mark for me, just because you don't know how Volk's going to bounce back. Islam was just bopping his head around 2 weeks ago, and now he's bouncing back in February. Ilya is probably going to be the hardest puncher that Volk has faced so far. We saw him get wobbled a little bit against Yair, but it would be a really cool y'all must have forgot moment if Volk can go out and do it. If it's a changing of the guard, Ilya is a pretty sick champion, and he opens some stuff up at 145 as well, you know. So the UFC is the real winner for today, and the fans are getting a lot of good fights out of it.
Facts. Yeah, I think I'm the most excited for the Cheeto Sugar fight also. I think that, dude, it's just such a great stylistic matchup because Cheeto's he's the long distance guy. And he's like he's got the chin of a freaking Spartan. So it's like, you know, this is gonna come down to it. Like, I think that it's pretty obvious. Like, I'm a big Cheeto fan, but I'm not ignorant. Like, the first couple rounds are gonna be super tough. You know, he's a slow starter. Obviously, Sugar's known for his quickness and his fast starts. So I think, you know, round 3, it's gonna be interesting to see how the pace kind of changes in Cheeto's game and what kind of gas Sugar's exerting in those first couple rounds. And because, you know, all these fights, what do they always say? He gets so pissed at Daniel Cormier, but he's looking at the time. And that's because Sugar Sean exerts so much energy. I mean, he is moving. This guy is on his bicycle. He's throwing wheel kicks. Like, it's going to be very interesting to see if his gas tank can hold up throwing all that shit for 5 whole rounds, because he's never done it. So Cheeto's done it. He's had his bad times, but I was telling Fishman about this one. Dude, Cheeto actually hates Sugar so much. Like, they can act like it's all fun and games when they shit talk, but there's a deep rooted hatred. And like, I'm pretty sure Sugar said some controversial things about, you know, Cheeto's family in the past, and that's shit that like Cheeto just don't forget. So I do think there's
When did he say? I don't think he went at his family.
no, I think he did. I think either might have. Either way, Cheeto hates him like to the core.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think there might be some a little extra coming with Cheeto. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about like a slow starting Cheeto and all those kinds of things that we usually worry about. I think he's gonna come out on some different energy type shit.
I
And
think
He's
Cheeto
that's
got
what
hates
we
dad
need.
pop.
O'Malley
He's
more
got
than
dad power
O'Malley
too,
hates
though.
Cheeto.
Yeah, of course. They got dad power, of course.
That's a good fight though. Like the classic style of O'Malley's trying to test Cheeto's skill, Cheeto's trying to test O'Malley's will. You know, and
Dude,
it's
that's
just gonna
clever.
see
That was a clever
what
little
what's
stinger.
up with it.
But
Skill versus will.
in terms of the Volk Ilya fight, dude, watching Volk get knocked out makes you second guess everything, because let's all be real. Before that happened, were we even like, I'm a big Ilya guy, but like, were we gonna give Ilya a chance? Like, if he doesn't fight Islam and he gets a full camp for Ilya, like, are we really sitting there being like, oh, no, like, not at all? But now all of a sudden,
It was a game changer.
all we see, you see him get flatlined, and you're like, shit, Ilya's got hands. So
And
I
he
don't know.
and
I don't know.
Volk's
Volk got kicked in the
35,
head by a fucking
36.
Yeah. I mean, he got kicked in the head, but yeah, he's 35.
by 100. That dude weighs a shitload more than him too, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about the freaking weight cuts of weight cuts with those Russians, bro. Like,
I mean,
that
Yeah,
boy,
that's
I
like-
don't doubt that Islam has weighed 180 fucking pounds in the fucking cage at one point.
It's like getting
you know?
smacked by a 2x4 in the temple, bro.
Yeah. Well, and then so that's kind of how I'm thinking about that one. Like, I think Ilya's got a chance, but I think I'm gonna get rooted and kind of go back to what I know, which is I think Volk on a full camp is probably gonna be pretty complete. But I mean, Ilya's dangerous as fuck. But and then the other fight, I mean, I'm riding against the boys on that one, man. I think I'm taking DDP, dude. Double nostril DDP is just a tank, dude. I think he's gonna
New
walk.
legendary fighter,
Yeah,
mythic fighter.
unlocked, where he can breathe out of both his nostrils. I mean, I think he's just gonna kind of walk through Strickland. Like, I hate to say it, but I mean, nobody walks through Whitaker like that, and I think he's gonna walk through Strickland. But that's all the time we got. Drop a like, comment, subscribe.
Comment some questions. Let us hear what you guys got for the boys.
So send us some DMs, some voice notes. All right, we out ya.